Don't let the long-term goal do all the heavy lifting. People find smaller things that on a daily basis make them feel good, that are associated with working with that non-preferred task. That is way more effective than holding out in the distance that long-term goal that you keep having to remind yourself of. First, work, then play. Identify something you really want to do that you're willing to forego until that non-preferred task is finished. I was working with a colleague and a coworker, actually. She was as ADD as they come. At one point, she commented to me that her apartment was a mess and she really wanted to get her apartment clean. And then I said to her, okay, is there something you really like to do in the evening after work that you're willing not to do until you've swept the kitchen floor? When she went home that night, she was still thinking about sweeping the kitchen floor and is there some reward she could use? And she was kicking off her work shoes and taking off her work clothes to switch into her sweats. And she stopped herself and she said, that's it. She put the work shoes back on. She put her work clothes back on and she swept the floor. The relaxing thing to do for her was to change out of her work clothes. She was willing not to do that until she'd done that 5-minute task. This is my favorite one of all time. Give yourself 2 free passes. They looked at a study where they had 3 groups setting goals and they all had to do the same boring task. But one group, they said, okay, your goal is to do this every day, 7 days a week. Another group, they said, okay, your goal is to do this 5 days a week. The third group, they said to them, okay, your goal is to do this 7 days a week, but you can give yourself 2 free passes. The group that did the best were the ones who had the goal of 7 days a week, but gave themselves 2 free passes. Avoid an all or nothing mentality. If your goal is to exercise for 30 minutes every day and you don't feel up to it, exercise for 5 minutes rather than skipping exercise altogether. Consistency is great, but if your goal is to exercise first thing in the morning and you don't do that, then say, okay, I'll exercise right before lunch. So break that consistency by doing it at another time, rather than not doing it at all. A journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. And that's my promise. Do something for 5 minutes a day. Take that first step. And you'll hit that 1,000-mile mark, and you'll hit it a whole lot faster than if you set that goal of going 100 miles a day.